Tony Itas, a magician with the hands, and the way that he can run the offense, the way he works with Petri will be key. The way he uses the likes of Huber. Can he force them when the ball is not in perfect positions? Can he open up the outside for Shizmora and for Fornal? It's going to be a fascinating contest. Jastrzębski in white, Trentino in blue. Spertoli starting on the front court, position 2. Jastrzębski's top scorer, Fornal, starts proceedings off and potentially might have just slipped on the baseline. Freebie to begin with, but this is a long old battle. The Polish fans, as always, analysing and intrigued. Spertoli, for me, a wonderful setter in this game. He goes after the front court receiver, Shizmora, and just as we were talking about, Benjamin Toniuti forces Huber in a situation where the blockers might not quite expect it, and Huber puts the ball away. It's a good pass, it's slightly to the right-hand side, but it's a short snap of the arm from Huber. Has to be quick, the ball's behind him, but you have a little bit more leeway when you're Huber's size. 2 missed serves in a row. Lorenzano has to dodge out the way of Huber's serve. Huber just one of many powerful servers from Jastrzębski. Lavia. Fornal puts the ball on the moneymaker to the outside, but it's the first opening block from Jan Kozamernik, and that will do his confidence the world of good. He's been at Trentino before, but not playing this role, not in games of this magnitude. It's a perfect start. The good news for Jastrzębski is that the first pass is in. Shizmora passes off, and Petri gets his first attack of the evening. Good cover. Popivchak's underneath it, but no way. Rychlicki makes hay whilst the sun shines. And potentially there's just a few nerves from Shizmora in that second touch. Lavia is off to a very good start here from the service line. Looking for that seam in between Popivchak and Fornal. The passers will be setting up on the starting position of Lavia and adjusting on what they see, but have to protect the seams and the gaps between the passes at this level. Good pass from Lorenzano. The middle's not quite there, but at the same time, the Polish outfit are defending with all their hearts already. Popivchak, pancake on the turn. Shizmora looking for hands. No hands, and maybe a first challenge. Fornal and Mendes. Maybe Mendes needs to hold his hands a little bit closer to the second referee's face to make sure he gets the challenge that he would like. And through defense, Jastrzębski give themselves a chance. Lavia with a great start from the service line. Kozamernik with an early block. Part of that Slovenian side made the Final Four again in Eurovolley. Looking for the touch. Hawkeye with the best eye in the sky. Challenge success. Fornal saw it. Mendes certainly saw it. .207, Jean Petri, formerly of Milano, Cisterna and Montpellier. Big hammer, Fornal's there, but welcome to the fray, Alessandro Michieletto. a thunderous blow. Lorenzano with the ball just leaking off the net again, but service pressure at this level will work like that. The speed from Spertoli again opens up the space in the block for the boy wonder. Kozamernik, it's an absolute bullet of a serve. Popivchak does a wonderful job of staying stable with his feet on the floor, but again, it's scrappy play due to the service pressure of the Italian team. First run of the pipe this evening. And the way that Podrashinin goes with the pipe, he doesn't go with the middle. Gladir, and he spots his prey. And if you see the likes of Podrashinin looking through the net the whole time, not looking at the ball, tries to almost commit, but the middle game is certainly on. Toniutti said, okay, you didn't jump with my middle last time, Podrashinin. I'm going to go with the middle now, and Podrashinin is not there. Passes in from Fornal. Those are the things that go amiss with just how good Tomasz Fornal really is. The ball's on the net. All options open for Toniutti. Pipe attack. Reverse knuckle to no avail. The offense again. Rychlicki spent some time at Lube, the last Italian team to win the Champions League. Just all over that one, didn't get a touch on it though. Great start. Rychlicki. More service pressure. The line judge gives it in. Yashvski is certainly not happy about this one. Fornal once again says that ball is out, and we might have another challenge. Mendes. Not happy so far. It's his second challenge. And that ball is way out of the back. Two challenges that have been overturned already. Yuri Gladir. Lorenzano forces that ball in. The stability in the legs. The harder the ball is served, the more that Lorenzano is looking for stability in the pass and balance. And he gets his arms well and truly on that one. Spertoli has a little look at where the block is and then finds the Serbian sniper in the middle, Podrashinin. Very good offense, and Podrashinin at the moment is having a very good start to this game. Cross-body serve from Michieletto. Patry got a service speed of 107 kilometers an hour. I think Patry took that up a few decibels in the offense. On the 10, looping around the back. Great speed from Toniutti. Lorenzano, now he's finding his range. Spertoli goes for the dump. Fornal's done his homework, and with a front court setup, Fornal can just pinch in on Spertoli. You can watch him here, not worried about the 10 attack. Doing his duties on the front court first. We might see the 10 attack here, no. Goes back to Podrashinin. Forcing the middle. Benjamin Toniutti and his relationship with Huber is frightening. That's twice that he's used him in positions of vulnerability, and twice that Huber's buried the ball away. And the middle game's working strong. Huber versus Podrashinin is turning into a very good battle. Again, Jastrzębski asking a few questions, but they're bringing themselves back into this. Toniutti just called it his first base defensive positioning. Patry, seams are open. The more, have a look at that. Toniutti goes straight to Huber, gives him a pat on the head, which is a very big reach for Toniutti to say well done. He keeps getting in on time. He keeps scoring when the ball is slightly off, and that means he holds the middle in situations like that, and Toniutti can open up the game for Petri. Toniutti time and time again has proven himself at this level. Spent 5 seasons in Poland. That's huge. And this is extremely encouraging if you're a Jastrzębski fan, because the offense is lightning fast, but he's used Huber. He's gone to the opposite, and now he runs the pipe. Popivchak falling to the floor, but getting his shoulders around the ball. It's a great pass. It really is. And on that quick tempo attack on the pipe, there's no blocking it. Jastrzębski are really starting to turn it on here. Michieletto's been seen. Shimura is doing a lot of work off the ball. Now he has to swing block to the outside to deal with Lavia. Petri over the top, goes with the dump. Oh my word! That is absolutely outrageous. Michieletto, Spertoli. And just when you think Jastrzębski are coming back into this, it's a heroic move. An unlikely hero puts a point on the board. And I think this is exactly what we were after. Fornal tries to push the ball in, and once again, Toniutti, this time to Gladier, is proving to be the master of using the middle when the ball isn't quite there, and it isn't quite perfect. We've seen it off the net again. He almost goes over that right shoulder, and he holds it up, and then Gladier can turn it back to one past Kozamernik. It's difficult for Toniutti, but that's why he's one of the very best. Out of system now. Calm defense from Petri. Petri again tries to turn one back sharp on the right side. But when you hit those swings, you've got to stay outrageously high. He just drops his height with his arm. This is some battle. Toniutti's face tells us everything. Kozamernik doing a wonderful job early on. And the pipe again, more defense from Trentino. There's a net touch somewhere against someone who's the guilty party. No complaints from Rychlicki. Shimura, 8 points last season off the bench in that 3-2 loss to Zaksa. Got the starting spot this evening, goes to Michieletto to try and make it very difficult for him to attack. Spertoli says, okay, I can see that Micheletto's under pressure, will go to the middle. Rychlicki. Popivchak diving, then trying to self-cover. Good work from him, not getting too attached to the pass being tight, but in the end, Trentino feed off the scraps and keep it clean their side. Too tight for Toniutti. Michieletto just sweeping up and doing a bit of DIY. For the left-hander, hitting back cross bodies. Well, A, his natural swing, but B, when that ball gets caught inside, it's got to go that way, but he does access the line and makes so many good decisions, Michieletto. Fornal knows how to make good decisions as well, but that's outrageously good blocking again from Marko Podrashinin. And when doing the scouting reports, They would have looked at all of these situations from Fornal, how he knows every situation and how smart they're going to have to be in the timings of what they do. Loves tipping, loves working off the block, and this time Podrashinin makes the block and Trentino have the advantage. The man from Luxembourg. Rychlicki with the serve, back to the middle. Perfect start after the timeout. Pass comes back into an aggressive position. Comfortable passing from there. Toniutti just running the wider ball, and that's always going to stretch Podrashinin laterally across the net. Swing's going to go towards the back right position, position 1, where the seam could have been open, but Podrashinin did a good job of getting across and getting something on it. Michieletto, high off the hands this time, and that's the beauty of having just such an option on the outside. He's 2'11", and height is always going to be successful. If he can get his feet inside the line of the ball and contact it high, he's always got that option to go off the top of the hands. Michieletto, ace! 118 kilometers an hour. Alessandro Michieletto, he scored 37 points in the semi-finals against Lube, and he's at it again this evening. It's a 4-point lead for the Italian powerhouses here in Antalya. The lightning doesn't strike twice, but he's certainly done his job. I think towards Tokyo, he's certainly one to watch. It's been magnificent so far. 21 blocks as well in this competition. To the right side, and that's one back for Jastrzębski through Tomasz Fornal on Rychlicki. Wide enough, I think, if Rychlicki wanted to go to the line, but he brings it back cross-body, and good work from Fornal, just starting his block a little bit more inside to coincide with that cross-body swing. And all of a sudden, we are back to 1 here. And that's the beauty of being Norbert Huber. You can not even jump and still seal some seams in the block. Polish fans alert, alive, awake, ready to support their team through these closing stages of the opener. Avia does a lovely bit of work here. It's incredibly smooth. It's one-handed set, fast, but diving into the angle there, Petri, because that's where the straight angle is, where he's facing. So to be able to turn that back over the left shoulder and hit to the line is a technically difficult swing. And that's why Jastrzębski are happy to give it to him, blocking the more powerful angles. Side-out plays Fornal. Look at the work off the ball now from Fornal to still hammer that cross-court. He starts really inside, has to work his feet around back into the angle. There's a lot of rotating parts in these offensive plays. Speed and width for Rychlicki. Goes back to that cross body, but with a little bit of extra sauce into the angle and scores. Just see on the backcourt, Huber's going one way, and that cross body certainly is sharp enough to get past the block. Hammer from the baseline. Sbertoli, who we saw quite a sensational dig earlier on, and it's good blocking. Lavia is in the thick of it. Jastrzębski pegged their way back, and then Trentino take the lead again. Lavia this time jumping in late into the crossbody of Petrie, who's disappointed, thought it was open. Back to position 1. Great setting again from Toniutti. That ball's always traveling away from him. So he has to do a good job to settle underneath it and lift it to the middle. And there was no other way that Huber could go apart from to the line net. He was under pressure, so he didn't have his angles. But again, the height and the speed pays off tremendously. Toniutti. Fornal has to step in and set this one. It's more a tip over the block. Picks on Rychlicki, who's out of the attack, but they find a way through the right side. And with Norbert Huber still on the court, having just served, not in the team to play defense, the 2'11" middleman. They just pick on him and manage to sneak a point. Great serve. We've seen deep serves, then we just see an off-pace serve, just changing the rhythm up Lavia. Trentino have a spring in their step hit. And again, there's just too many points from the wings at the moment. They fed Podrashin in early doors, Sbertoli. And you can just see the deep breath and the sigh from Toniutti as we go into a timeout. Michieletto scoring, they have to worry about him. They've used the middle, so Gladier's jumping with Kozamernik, even in tough situations for the Trentino setter Sbertoli. And we're in a situation here where Jastrzębski are chasing this game. Sbertoli's running a very good offense. Lavia made a few serves early on. Net band ace, no. Gladier with the flipper. Sbertoli slowing the game down to 6, giving the ball to Lavia. Sitting back, but there's a net touch from Gladier, who nods and says, well, in his agreement. 2 away, Trentino here, from what would be a big statement in this matchup. Michieletto's firing, Lavia firing. It's been a very good opening performance. Double change here. Petrie is not quite fired, hasn't been given a lot of the ball either so far, but Slater coming in, the Canadian, who won a bronze in the CEV Cup in 2020. Played alongside the coach's son, Nico Mendes, tours, but here's his first chance to get on the scoreboard. It's a big crush into the angle, but sitting on the edge of the block nicely was Sbertoli. High play again, 2 away. Trentino looking to hurry the game up. Yuri Gladier has seen it. And he's gone and made a monster block. It's a reaction, and he's just taken away position 5. Trentino trying to speed up the offense and catch Jastrzębski goal, but it's Trentino that called the timeout. the middlemen discuss. Tactically spot on so far. From Trentino. Interesting to see what the bench from Jastrzębski can bring to this game. Looking to side out, but Smora, already on the floor, was under immense pressure in his approach to get up and find that ball from Fornal. And the Polish champs at the moment are under the pump, 3 up, moving the hands out of the way, and that was because he was out of rhythm and there was nowhere else for him to go. Kozamernik, hammered to the line. Trentino Itas, Slater keeps Jastrzębski in it. Heads to tours next season. Plus Liga was his first league championship, and now he's making a real difference in his first Champions League final. Second set point for Trentino here in Antalya. On the front court receiver, Michieletto. He gets the ball back and he hammers sharp into the angle. And it's the Italians, Trentino, who take the opening set here in Türkiye in what has been a fascinating battle. But they've been very good value. Michieletto, cross-court Gladir, not there this time. Podrashin has been a force and Gladir jumped with him. And therefore the cross-body more than open for Michieletto to put it away. Serving him tough, passing well, and then siding out to give Trentino an opening set victory here in the SuperFinals. 25-20. But it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, as Jastrzębski Węgiel found out last year. Podrashin and Yuri Gladir, the match statistics, it's high-level stuff, isn't it? As the second set underway, Spatoli, Fornal goes high off of the hands to the middle. Good tip cover that from Fornal. Doesn't go with the 3-man block, but just comes off, makes the tip, and Trentino Itas there to play defense. That's a real team effort. It really is. Fornal out of the offense, but he did his work defensively, and Trentino Itas is aware, and Patrice back into the starting lineup, having been substituted at the back end of the opener, replacing Stefan Borje, who played in last year's SuperFinals for Jastrzębski. So a change in the opposite position as Norbert Huber gets himself across. The former Zaxa man on the other side of the net this season, and the way that he can still cover the seams with those long arms, absolutely superb. The Plus Liga side only having lost twice in their last 10 matches, and they were both to Zaverchi in Plus Liga. Oh, huge! And this is a second set start of dreams for the Plus Liga champions, Jastrzębski. Short ball. Rychlicki out of the offense. Spatoli sets him well inside. And lining up the block beautifully. Jastrzębski, when that ball's dropping inside, the blocker has to move with it, take those cross-court angles. Well, first time really. Well, the unofficial rule, call a timeout if you lose 3 consecutive points. Whatever Marcelo Mendes said in the break between sets must have worked. I mean, he's had a fabulous, fabulous career. Marcelo Mendes only still, he's growing his CV still. What a touch that is, my word, Gladier. Fornal in a pickle, it's tight, so he has to look off the hands, jump setting to the outside. Fornal's strong with the outside hand. He's watching through the net. He knows the ball's going to 4. Toniutti says, I'm getting out of this. Let the other boys do the blocking. And then it's a high arm. Great touch that. Just trying to stay as stable as possible. Arm behind the ball, Gladier. Fornal watching through the net. Knew Lavia was out of the offense, and that was his cue to get to the outside to Rychlicki. Fornal off the net this time. Petrie, who's been blocked down into the cross court again. Now, we saw that in the opening set, the crossbody. Kozamernik gets across wonderfully well. And let's have a look at the work off the ball. Watching through the net, couple of steps across and rains down a little bit of pain. Loves to come back across the body. When the ball isn't perfectly in front of him, he's going to lose some of those sharper angles. Kozamernik has been very strong. Pass is in system. Toniutti is there, but commitment block. 2 from 2. Jan Kozamernik has just pulled Trentino right back into this after a slow start. First time knowing when to release and get Petrie. This time holding late with the middle with Huber, and Huber has a puzzled look on his face. Michieletto loves it. Toniutti. Wow. Kozamernik looking for a 3rd in a row, but where we saw Fornal go with the tip and work off the hands or get blocked in the end from Podrashnin earlier, this time the fast arm beats him. Lorenzano gets the ball into a good zone, but being maybe a little bit pedantic on that one. Could have been slightly tighter. But they build through the rally. Good first run on the pipe. They build through those situations. Rychlicki. Good battle now. Really is. Could go either way. Onto the front court receiver. Sorry, it wasn't the front court receiver. Fornal was the front court receiver, and he was opened up, but he can't put the ball away. And in turn, good decision-making from Rychlicki. And in these sorts of situations where he's not fully in rhythm, he's in transition, first of all, Spatoli again just chips in with an outrageous touch, sees that turn back line, but this is a shrewd swing just to stay high off the hands. There's no real sharp angles available for the right side of that. That's better. Petrie just fires deep into the corner. Well, after the opening set, we have some stats for you. Podrashnin with 5 points. That's a good return from the middle after the opening set. Michieletto with 7. Lorenzano does a good job of staying consistent. Couldn't kill the ball, but Toniutti is out of the attack. Slower play, but I think that's Rychlicki again doing a good job of getting 3 in the block. Good with the hands as well, and that's another tight play that's just fired up from Zamora. Again, when that ball's tight, you're going to see players work off the hands. Best receiver in the Polish Cup in 2019. Had a good competition, chipping in with the points. 10 points against Zirat. Against Luciano Vizintin, who'll be joining them next season. You just feel that Trentino do have that extra physicality on the wings. But the pass has to be perfect so they can run the speed of offense that Mendes would like. Miss serves, not the end of the world at the moment. Out of system. Michieletto has to do well to find that. That's an outrageous play. Alessandro Michieletto. Ball's inside, out of system. It's come from way downtown, and for a left-hander, you'll see the work off the ball here. He has to really work to get his feet inside it, keep his eye on the ball. And again, at 2'11", he can just find that bailout high swing off of the hands. Ace from Michieletto. 2 bits of magic from Michieletto. And Trentino are in the lead here in set 2. Popivchak rarely beaten, but that was too fast and too furious. The fact that we know he has this ferocious cross-body from left to right serve on him, which he goes to now, Fornal, with a beautiful pass. The level out here is sensational. Fornal sees the approach line coming into the angle of Lavia and steps around, which is more looking to go off the hands again, and it's that man, Podrashinin, who's staying very quick with the hands offensively. Toniutti keeps it flat and fast, but because the first pass is off the net, Podrashinin can release. It's the only option really that Toniutti can go to. Podrashinin knows this game better than anyone and makes a great decision to release and get his man. Timeout. Jastrzębski here. And again, just being slightly shorter at the wings, costing them at the moment. Struggling for points on the outside. Jastrzębski at the moment. Trentino are prepared for all of the variations of attacks in the tip and working off the block, especially in those out-of-system plays. And really, Podrashinin and Kozamernik's blocking early on in this set has been remarkable. They're in the block again. Lorenzano just shrugs his shoulders. How about that one, he says. Fortunately, the ball's out and Shimura makes one on the wing. It's another high out-of-system play. First one off the hands of Spertoli. Second one, it's a really good swing from the outside. Shimura there. Petrie. And this would be exactly what Jastrzębski would like. There's some good service pressure so they can link the block. Gladier can't quite finish the hands quick enough inside. Great speed from Rychlicki. Brilliant set from Spertoli as well to find the right side. And the right shoulder there of Rychlicki shows a very good set. He could speed up the arm and beat the blocker. Petrie trying to do the same there, but once again, the middles. Kozamernik this time. They're under the pump here, Jastrzębski. They need to try and find something. And this time, the tip-off of the hands does work. Fascinated to see if Jastrzębski can start to frustrate the middle blockers here. with plays like this. Kozamernik trying to get across, doesn't quite seal. Maybe they'll start to go high on him. He'll start reaching, then they can start to go low. There's a net touch here, hold on a moment. Did he go underneath the net? Maybe the foot did, the toe of Spertoli. I think that's what he's been called for. Service. Ball's into a good mode. Oh, chesting. To no avail. Pretty good work there from Smore, who's being consistent. Knows that there's an avenue, an alleyway for Kozamernik, so he has to step up and play that off the chest. Good work from Spertoli. Good speed. And this is better. Now, the block of Trentino have had the advantage, Podrashinin and Kozamernik, but as of late, the speed here. Just look, it's off of Rychlicki, but he speeds up the hand, and the arm of the spiker quicker than the blocker, so then the ball travels out the back. Yuri Gledit. Perfect for Jastrzębski. The service is coming back into this, and that means the block is coming back into it. And one of the most important things there for Trentino is to try and not trap the hitter in this out-of-system situation underneath the block, and it's a little bit too tight. Huber staying on the right side this time, and it's very difficult to hit cross-court from there, and it's so tight, you'll never get past Huber. Gledir's serve, ruffling the feathers here. Lorenzano. Oh, block out this time. Fornal trading positions and blocking in the middle, which I quite like. If Gledir's going to serve Trentino out of system, sealing the line with Huber's block is a smart move in those out of system plays. As we've just seen, very difficult to hit those sharp angles at least. To the middle, back to position one, Spertoli. His defense today has been outstanding. Michieletto is, as always, done very well with these out of system and rhythm balls, but for now, he's finding a way, isn't he? He understands this game and the situations presented to him. And he's always a magician at finding the solution. This time high off of Rychlicki. Watch him wipe low in a moment or change direction. He'll keep mixing up these plays. (13-all). This game has had some ebbs and flows already. Michieletto, cross court's open, no problem. That ball's nice and wide, and again, because he's so high, so much trouble to deal with. Just more out of the pass. They do a good job trying to free up Fornal because they need to try and take the pressure off of him so he can attack again. He goes off the hands, this time with the tip. But Rychlicki knows he's got a battle on his hands in terms of a real craftsman with Fornal. When you think about the depth of the Polish team, he's going to be competing with Leon, Slivka, Semenyuk, Bednarz for that spot. And we saw earlier on Nikola Gerbic here in the crowd supporting. Pass is a little bit quick, but Tree's on that right side. He will take the touch this time. Oh, hold on a moment. Trentino, they have a few questions here. Well, Fornal, part of that squad that won Euro Volley last year in Rome. What a performance, absolutely dominating the Italians on their turf. Almost a get your own back from the World Championships the year before, but Huber, Pavivchak and Fornal all part of that squad. Michieletto, a key player in that Italian team that evening, where they struggled to use the middle, the Italians, and just thought Poland put in a real performance. Petri now just flexing his height against Michieletto. Rychlicki, been solid, isn't he? You feel that Jastrzębski have up their level, but just to hang with Trentino for the time being. On the outsides, they've been solid. The middles have made their blocks, and they've certainly slowed the game down for the defense multiple times. Well, you even look at the stats as Mora puts one away, but certainly a better blocking team in their semi-finals, Trentino, out of the two teams. Huber made no blocks in that semi-final victory, as nor did Gladier, and their blocks have been few and far between this evening as well. This time, Lavia on the pipe. Lorenzano gets that ball in. Podrasinin takes Gladier, and there's always that gap open because of the angle of the middle running in, facing position 5. The opposition middle has to commit, and that opens up that back left towards position 1. Textbook stuff from Trento. Lorenzano off the net. Spatoli has another look. Finds Rychlicki, and really the look to have a look at the opposition block and then run that ball is quite something. He sees that the middle is just pushed across there. It's very smart from him. Gladier is a little bit over to the right-hand side, so he flips it to the Jastrzębski left and finds a gap. It's very good from Spatoli. He has another look. And then he goes to the pipe. My word! Spatoli is on an absolute mission here. Watching everything in the block and then going where you might just not expect it. Michieletto, I have no idea what he's doing there, but he's impressed. Good cover. Lots of rotating parts offensively to that offense as well. You really have to admire this performance so far. Gladier, he's very square on there, so he's going to struggle hitting too sharp back to the right-hand side of court. Lavia knows that Gladier's just hit the ball. It's going to be very difficult for him to really seal. Everything going Trentino's way, and at the moment they've deserved it. Well, on the form book, Jastrzębski domestically on an absolute tear, but Trentino struggling in the playoff game against Milan and taking 4th place in Serie A. But you can still never bet against them. Smart play. I think Spatoli thinks he didn't get a touch on that, and maybe he was a little bit inside there because Mora, again, he serves so inside that to kick out and make an approach into the angle was very tough. The line was left maybe a little bit too open for him, but there is a little bit of a mismatch there as Spatoli, not the highest blocker on the Trentino side. Again, they try and go over Spatoli. Free ball. Where's this going? Tony Udi, Gladia, no. Goes to Fornal. And the speed on the pipe is magic. Jastrzębski get us back to 1 hit. Just the shoulders from Tony Uti. Got around the ball, sold the middle attack. And then it's just all in those inches of speed from Fornal to make sure he's got the slither in the seam to go after. Slater back in. Comes onto the front court. And, well, another huge moment for Yaroslav Macionczyk, number 17, was retired earlier on the season. He's 45 years old, and he came straight into this team and took MVP of a Polish league match, the oldest player to play in Plus Liga. And now, oh, he's fumbled that one, unfortunately, but he did such a great job that he's been included in this side. Just shows that maybe even a few nerves for somebody with so much experience came into the team as Latvian Edvin Skludas was injured and played as Tony Uti was also struggling. And he'd only been in training with Bielsko Biala, and then he went and made his Champions League debut against Piacenza. So just shows, doesn't matter what age you are, you can still come in at the highest level and do a great job. Although straight off, Tony Uti straight back in. Petrie passes off the net. Didn't fancy the middle that time. And again, we've seen it from Petrie a lot. He likes to come back into the angle, his cross body. So they just end up leaving the line for him. And he can just squeeze the line. Jastrzębski just haven't found that consistency, have they? Trentino look a good bet to go 2-0. Lavia. Short ball off the net. 3 blockers. Even Fornal can't find a way past. Second chance, the ball's inside, and that's shrewd. Michieletto gets across, expecting the fast attack, and it's the slower arm of Fornal that just catches Michieletto out here. 3 up once, out of system. So all of a sudden the opposite's out the game. Michieletto can release, but he's still beaten. And this game is truly magic when you start to see how much happens off of the ball. Michieletto brings up set point for Trentino. We haven't seen a lot of him in this second set. Popivchak knows that with that cross body, he has to step up into court as it's a steeper swing, but he's absolutely battered. Fornal. Wow. Off body, sharp into the angle. And so far, so good for Trentino, but if Fornal can keep playing this way, Jastrzębski have a chance. Ace from the main man himself. That's 2 back. Lorenzano hit by a bullet hit. Rocked back, put on his backside. Jastrzębski mounting a bit of a comeback here. Timeout from Trentino. Lorenzano, for me, someone to really keep an eye on. Slowly giving him some advice. Well, Fornal off the block. Fornal with an ace. He's going to have to deliver a couple more of those rockets if Jastrzębski wanted to go 1-1 here and send this to overtime. $12 points against Zirat, 15 in the second leg against Piacenza. It's another good serve, but Michieletto looks to his head and says focus. It's a great decision from Michieletto to stay high off the hands. And how many times this evening has Michieletto found an answer from these situations? Attacking the ball aggressively, keeping the arm high and going off the hands. Michieletto leads Trentino into a 2-0 lead. And Jastrzębski, who have never won the Champions League, needs to come back firing in set number 3. It's been too good from Trentino. Not many errors, everybody firing. 25-20, 25-22. The middles are on the money, the outsides are aggressive and scoring. Those big moments, Lucas Kazmarek came to the forefront, just as Michieletto is doing here, 57%. That tells us a big story, but it's interesting as Fornal is being used as a go-to offensively here this evening in lots of situations where he has to be creative, continue to play as the ball's off of the net. Michieletto is, as we know, a fair bit higher at 2'11". Fornal 2 meters, so still certainly not small, but in this game smaller than the opposition. And you feel that in the Polish national team, or maybe even next season, will be used as more of that reception outside, but he's seeing a lot of the ball at the moment to the middle. Kozmernik has had an absolute worldie. Wider set, the block's always playing second fiddle and one's always open. Big high swing, chase is on. Oh, get your foot on it. Well, Rychlicki almost pulled off a bit of beauty. And I guess the one thing that will be of great note for Coach Solé and his team is that after taking a battering in the Serie A playoffs against Milano, they've managed to really have a look at themselves, go back to the drawing board and reassess. And maybe the extra little bit of rest and training time has done them well for this game here. Petrie. And if you line the players up this evening head to head, you'd say that Rychlicki's had the better of the right side play against Petrie. You'd say that Michieletto has, well, let's say, scored easier. That's a brilliant swing, though. We talk about Petrie coming into the angle. That's a beautiful line shot. Really good. Calculated from Lavia. Would love to have another look at this one, because ball's not quite in the right spot, and it's just a high swing. Deep, and it's mischievous. Kozmernik, who plays underneath Georgi Kletsu, the coach of that first Zaxa triumph, or second Zaxa triumph in the Champions League, sorry. in the Slovenian men's national team. There's another error, and that's just been something we've seen consistently in every set at the moment from Jastrzębski. That set's tight, but at the same time, Fornal can go with the left and find a pocket. And you just feel that in these free ball situations, you have to score. Underneath it a little bit too early, Petrian, and his arm can't quite come through the ball. Front court receiver. It's not again, sorry. It's shifting across and taking more of the left side of the court, Shizmora, to open up Fornal. Sorry, that's twice I've done that. Fornal, such a great passer, but he's trying to get out the way so he can swing. Only the line really available for him there as his shoulders are too closed off to the line. But a good high rip off the hands. The errors have to decrease. And the service pressure has to increase. Michieletto. Well, that's the first error that I can count this evening from Alessandro Michieletto. Fornal can't make the most of his opportunity. Maybe in these situations when you're chasing a game, you start to try too hard and force the issue from the service line a little bit too much. Toniuti, Popivchak, Fornal and Mumbai will have clear memories from starting last year's final, but we haven't quite seen them use that experience with Huber. If you get Huber in the game, yes, being the height that he is going to cause chaos, but emotionally he's going to give a lot of energy to the side as well, and he might just be able to bring this team with him. Really good patience from Lorenzano. Fornal turns into the setter. Petri off the hands. Spatoli runs the pipe beautifully. Defense from Jastrzębski keeps them alive. Then they go quick. Toniuti on the floor. 2 one-handed stabs in a row. Free ball. Spatoli has a little look at the middle. Knows where Gladir is. And then flips it. To the opposite. You've got to love it. Everything he's looking at through the net. He can see that the middle's committing to Podrashchinin. And we've seen that happen a few times. He looks at the middle, sees that it's pinched over, and operates through Rychlicki. Fornal off the net. How are they a little bit out of rhythm? Oh, very good. Shizmora goes full thunder. And I like that from him. Very aggressive. And in these situations, if they're going to tussle their way back into it, Jastrzębski, they have to stay aggressive and they have to stay very patient. If you stay patient, you might end up on the right side of some of those plays. Yuri Gladir. Played for Zaverchi last season. 5 seasons with Jastrzębski Gladir. He's actually played here in Türkiye with Fenerbahce, but to finish with a gold after last year's silver would be huge for the Ukrainian. Spatoli again to the pipe, nobody home. Gladir beaten. The tough thing is with a left-hander on the pipe, if they do try and line up on him, they've got to try and step across him and get that right hand on his left side. And the way that Michieletto can wrap that ball back to 5 is just menacing. You're starting to understand why these players are the best players in the world. Their ability to hit multiple angles at fast speeds, all working together. Lorenzano, perfection. Kozemernik, for me, just has not put one hand wrong in this game. You feel like he's worked his whole career for evenings like this, and he's not going to waste his opportunity. Rychlicki ready for the tip. This time, tip from Lavia on the left side. Very good dig from Lorenzano. Just a safety play. Then there's two up in the block because Toniutti steps out of it, and Lavia. And again, Trentino have won all of these battles for me this evening as well. These out-of-system plays, calculated, managing the risk of the situation. If Lorenzano keeps cheering like that, the young man's going to get a headache pretty quickly. Let's see how Jastrzębski go out of rhythm. Petrie with the crossbody, that's seen, and Gladier's there once more. Decides to jump set towards Fornal. Fornal's not there, Petrie is there, but settling in defensively. Spatoli, who defensively has been excellent all night, and you just feel now that Trentino have the wind in their sails. Trentino won this Champions League trophy 3 times in a row, 2009, 10, and 11. They haven't won since then. Runners-up 3 times in a row. Petrie again's been brought off here. It's a straight substitution this time for Petrie. I think it's fair to say certainly hasn't had a bad game, but hasn't quite fired to the extent that Mendes and Jastrzębski would have liked, as just more through the pipe away from the body. Nothing really wrong here. Kozemernik went on the 5 or tried to protect position 5 very late. Better. A serve. We know what Yuri Gladier can come up with. He was the best middle blocker in Serie A in 2019 with Syed Maruf feeding him. But he's also been the best server in Plus Liga in 2021, and they need this serve to come to the forefront of this game. Again, how consistent has this been from Trentino? All of these situations with 2 blockers up, slightly out of rhythm or very out of rhythm. Again, the calculated swing. Fornal is frustrated, but he has to cover so much distance with Toniutti playing as a on-tip cover, let's say, in that situation. It's very difficult to move 8 or 9 meters and still press as a middle blocker, so to speak. But this is where they're hurting. Jastrzębski are bleeding here. They can't afford to lose their own side out and their own pass. Fornal. Getting after it. Not being beaten for speed. High ball. Toniutti just has to flip it back. He's got 3 on him. And he's gone high off the hand so often that then he can squeeze one lower and turn it. It's really smart variation, and he has to have it. Tight play. Surely the block's in here. No, but Shazmore is running for the pipe after playing defense. Again, the quick arm's perfect. And these are the things that go your way if you stay fast with the arm and you target the block. As long as your arm is quicker than their hands, you will get these situations, and the hands this evening have been so quick from Kozamernik and Rychlicki that he has to speed up. Wow. Just when you think that Trentino in the early stages of set 3 have got this in the bag, the big players start to come back into the game and the Polish fans respond. Wow, caught slightly napping. Spertoli was blocked that time earlier on. He let that one go, and in turn, Jastrzębski caught napping, but not that time, Huber. Again, Huber doesn't need that full approach. It's incredibly high as it is. We've seen some big comebacks in Champions League history. We've seen some epic matches. Brilliant blocking. Shizmora pinches in. And makes the block on the pipe attack. Look at the work off the ball again. Sees it, just takes a real quick step and gets the hands over. That's all Jastrzębski needed. Fornal. Slater still on the front court. He's come off the bench and done a very good job. Be interesting to see if we see Petrie come back into this. The Canadian gets beaten. He's playing defense and he has to try and get his right foot on that white line to take those angles. He's come a long way. Slater starting out at Trinity West Spartans in 2012, and here he is on the big occasion. That's been seen. They know that they need to get Huber into the game, and if Podrashnik was a betting man, which I'm sure he's not, he would know that if that pass was somewhere near it, he would have to commit with Huber. But again, not able to hit the ball out of position 6, and if you hit position 6, you're in trouble with Podrashnik guarding the net. You have to work so hard off the ball. Huber again stopped from Podrashnik. He's been brilliant in those situations. Huber, third time, working a charm. And I think that Trentino Itas is going to keep feeding Huber until Huber starts winning this battle. He hasn't got much time, but he can really lift the spirits of Jastrzębski all the same. Michieletto. You think about how hard Jastrzębski are working to side out. And then Lorenzano, position 1, middle holds. Podrashnin's doing his job against Gladir. Huber and Gladir just haven't made quite the contribution in terms of the blocks and the soft blocks that we've seen from Trentino's guard this evening. Big moment for Sklejta. Pass is good from Lorenzano, this time to 5, Popivchak. Very good. Big swing off the hands. Rychlicki goes to Tooltown. Podorashinin is certainly winning this battle at the moment. Great chase from Shizmura, almost battering into the board, and almost. That's the first thing that I can certainly remember Podorashinin doing wrong this evening. You just cannot believe that he's not won one of these yet. And it would be fitting if this evening was his evening. Good pressure on the serve again. It's going back to Lavia. Sklejta on the line. This is good from Jastrzębski. This is their opportunity. Spatoli's just got to go back the same way as it went over the net. I think that was outside the antenna. Brilliant rally, this one. Lavia again out of system, finds a solution. Gladia stays up when Tony Uti stayed down, left his hands lingering. And Lavia, the craftsman that he is, finds a very good solution. Spatoli, big service, Popivchak, good tempo. Again, just speeding the play up. Tony Uti trying to make it difficult for Rychlicki, who just reaches into the angle. Again, smart move. Fornal's really looking towards position 5, so just reaching in there is a smart move, but it's good volleyball from Fornal again. They could have done with a Yuri Gladir special. No Petri at the moment. Mendez stays with Sklejta in the opposite position. Well, that's close to a foot fault, but not this time, Huber. Well, the middle's taken, and Sklejta's given the one-on-one, but can't quite convert into the sharp angle. And that's been almost the story of Jastrzębski's game at the moment. Playing a game of percentages, I think, trying to look after and guard Huber, and they're happy to give Sklejta the one-on-one in the backcourt attack. Sorely's mind will be thinking about percentages, where to serve, who to block, and where to leave the one-on-ones. Petri's back in. And they are guarding Huber brilliantly well. It's Kozamernik. And you feel that Trentino feel that the right side isn't scoring, or they're happy to give Petri the one-on-one on the backcourt against Michieletto and just commit to Huber. Huber's been set a lot throughout this third set. The question is, will it be the final one? Trentino need 3 more. 4 more, sorry. Maths has never been my strong point. It's been a perfect evening for Trentino. They've served well, they've passed well, but their offense and their block defense has worked in sync. Lavia serving. Jastrzębski now swimming against the tide. Tony Fornal. And it's another block. They look for the cover. Kozamernik takes Trentino one closer. Wow. Commits with the middle and still manages to get to the outside and get closure on Fornal. And that, ladies and gentlemen, shows us the story of this game so far. Trentino thoroughly improved since losing to Milan in Serie A, and it hasn't worked for Jastrzębski today. And it looks as if the Polish champions, back-to-back Polish champions, will be back-to-back runners-up in the Champions League. Challenge. In big games, your big players need to come to the forefront. Rychlicki's done that. Michieletto's done that. Levia's done that. You just can't really fault any of the performances from Trentino so far. No net faults. A special evening. Timeout. Trentino 2 away here. For their fans, it looks as if it's going to be joy after 3 consecutive runners-up medals in this competition. Lavia serving. Pivchak chases down the off-speed serve. It's good volleyball, it's a great serve, and it's a good side out. Fornal keeps the dream alive. And I'm sure that Marcelo Mendes will have more questions than answers. They played a lot of volleyball. Jastrzębski, that's for sure, more than Trentino, but surely not on an evening like tonight. You can't put anything on those things. It just hasn't been there. And this is not a home and away leg. This is a one-off. Everything, all in, all the time. And there's been a net touch called. Hang on a moment. We might have a challenge here. Is it going to be match point Trentino? Marcelo Mendes is being sent back. This could end in tears right now. Mendes is getting stuck in. Right, did it hit the floor? It looks like a pancake from Spatoli from me. There was definitely a Trentino point after that. A red card and we're in real trouble because well, that would be game, set and match. They're going to have to calm it down here. Well, match point. Trentino, a fabulous performance. Jastrzębski need to find a side out through 4 now, and they do. They still have a real mountain to climb here, though. Fornal serving to stay in the match and to save another year of heartache for Jastrzębski. Michieletto, as always, the man to go to in the clutch moments. He's dug. Chance in transition, another swing for it. Of course, they go to Michieletto. He'll stay high. Pobivchak is there. Shizmora, shot down! Trentino are kings of Europe again. Hugs all round, tears in their eyes as Trentino are back at the top of European club volleyball for the first time in 13 years. Jastrzębski, tears of sorrow and what might have been. Yashvski cannot watch anymore. It seems as if we're going to a challenge. I'm unsure why. Net fault. Was there a net fault? Do we go again? I don't think there was. I think they're just throwing the kitchen sink at this, Jastrzębski. And it's confirmed. Trentino are the kings of Europe again. The celebrations can begin. Alessandro Michieletto, a first Champions League gold. Marco Podrasinin takes his first Champions League gold. And Trentino dominant in this Champions League final. A brilliant occasion for them and their team. 3 consecutive losses. And now they rise to the peak of European volleyball once again. For Benjamin Toniutti, it's another runners-up medal this evening for him. In a game where it just wasn't quite there. They'll be disappointed they did not perform, but this was Trentino's evening. Under par in Syria, losing to Milan, that is all a distant memory right now. Jan Kozemernik take a bow for Slovenia. Tremendous evening from him in the middle. Trentino were dominant in that area, attacking-wise, but also in the blocking department as well. And really a sensational victory for the Italians here in Antalya. Rychlicki over the moon in his first Champions League final, takes his first gold, and a true mark of respect from the double Polish champions, Jastrzębski. The fans travel loud and proud as always. A true credit to Polish volleyball. But tonight, it's all about the Italians here in Antalya. Michieletto goes straight to the crowd and to his priorities by the looks of it. The Champions League best outside hitter has now become a Champions League winner. And in all of those big moments, he was disappointed with that swing, but it led to the block in the end. And one would feel that just in those vulnerable situations, the out of rhythm, situations like these, that Trentino were better, but they were better all over the park this evening. And what a fitting way Marco Podrasinin gets his hands on a Champions League gold medal.